One moment of anger, and everything you had as a parent was on the line.
Hey guys, go up there. Can you guys go up there, please?
Like what? Leave my mama house. Leave my mama house. Why you at my mama house? Why you at my mama? You don't live here? Why you at my mama house? What you talking about?
So can someone tell me what's going on?
She at my mama house.
She pulled up at what? 3, 4 in the morning.
It's cameras.
Then she put, it's cameras here. Then she pulled back up, talk about she want to fight, talk about report, has here that she ready to fight, come off the porch, come off the porch. She pulled up with her babies, talk about some come off the porch, she ready to fight, so we're here to fight. Why are you calling?
Yeah, right at my mama house.
Who's it?
That's the driver. Her ride. That's her ride. You ain't got no ride. I want to have a car. He has my keys. Thank you. Shut up. Pop, I have a car. Pop, Pop, what are you finna go out? Stop it. In your act.
Okay.
Shut
the f*** up! You want to go to jail? You want to go to jail?
No, I don't.
Then back the f*** up.
Okay. Like they.
And you shut up, or you're gonna go to jail. Shut up!
What, Mom? What?
Well, you guys are cussing, so it's disorderly conduct. Yeah, you guys can shut up.
She here, tell her to leave. She pulled up to her house and called the police on her.
Okay, I'm trying to resolve the situation. So stop. I'm trying to, but you keep screaming. Dear, what are you guys doing here?
My son is in there, and he has my keys. He won't give me my keys, and he won't give me my son.
She came here to fight me. She has.
Who's this?
This is my baby mom. She came here last night. I called the police on her because she beat me up on camera.
Do you guys have shared custody?
No, we don't.
I have full custody of my son.
She doesn't have full custody. We don't have no legal agreement where the kid.
Did you let him get the kid?
No, he came here, climbed over her son.
Is this the kid?
Her son.
No, my kid's in the house, but she's not even supposed to be here. She has a warrant for domestic violence. She came here to fight me again. She just came to fight me last night. I called the police last night. They told me if you see her again, call her because she has a warrant for domestic violence.
I just told her last night he
This
took my
address?
keys.
Yes, I have the camera. I have the video right now.
Yeah, sure.
This is what happened last night.
What's her name? And you already showed the cops this?
Yes, they showed this. Yes.
All right. I don't know. I guess she pulled up to fight him, and they're just all yelling and screaming.
Your mom's She's talking about her keys and my son, but when the officers came last night, like they told me, she came back to get her keys last night, but she was driving crazy with my son. So after the situation where she fought me, I heard them took her keys out of her car, right? They came back, the officer told me, like, that's a civil matter, like, y'all gotta go to court for the keys. And as for my son, she pulled up here to fight, but my baby's in the car, like, so I heard and grabbed them out, like, you trying to fight my other baby mom, like, it's all trash.
She's gonna be a 13. Yeah. Hey, dear, I'm gonna have you step out the car real quick. Just face that way.
Y'all remember you put me in jail?
Put your hands on your wrist. Stop.
Now get back up.
You got shoes?
He took them.
Okay, we'll try and get those for you, alright? Okay. You know you got a warrant?
Yes, from last night.
You should probably not came back here if you knew you had a warrant.
I don't care.
Stupid.
Shut up.
TV.
They probably charged you last night.
Yeah, it's probably.
Can we not leave till my mom get here? She's coming to get my son.
Well, he's the father, so it's.
But I don't want him with my son. I want my mom to get
No
him.
matter, I'm his dad. Sorry.
He can't stay here with her.
Well, he stays here. He
But
goes
he doesn't live
CSB.
here. No. Why can't my mom take him?
Go. Take a seat.
Why can't?
Sorry, I'm keeping your son. Sorry, my son. Thank you.
Where's your kid at? In the house. This is the dad.
Yep.
Resolve the problem. Just send her for a warrant.
It sounds like they signed a warrant on you for domestic violence. Okay. Well, you probably shouldn't have came back here. Because now we have to send you to jail. Okay.
I'm gonna roll her window out so mom can talk to her.
Hey, Mom.
Well, they ain't gonna give him to me because he has nowhere to go. Like, how can you take my son and he don't have no place to live? Why is there grass and stuff all in your hair? Because he put his hands on me. I've scratches and bruises all over me. So you still can't get your keys to your car?
No, they're not getting nothing for me. My keys, my son, nothing.
This is absolutely crazy. So he's just gonna be out here just riding around in your car?
Exactly. Like, what? It's not his car.
Where's the car at?
It's parked at my friend's house.
On Eastland.
Am I able to get my phone to tell my friend, like, my
Where's
mom?
your-
Because she's supposed to be, the girl's supposed to be on her way over here. That's what Mari said.
Where's your phone at?
I gave it to my friend.
Mari.
We can send your phone to county with you
Okay.
if you want it.
Okay.
You want your phone?
They taking you?
Yeah. Because I got a warrant for last night from my handler.
Lord have mercy.
You have a warrant for EV, and then you have a big one.
Yeah, I know, but see, that's what I'm talking about. See, the totally
Kinda, that was
dropped.
That was a sponge, however you
So
want to say
whatever
it.
happened last night, they signed a warrant on her for domestic. So with domestic, we don't have any leniency of not to send her to county. If it was something else like an assault or like a theft or something, we could give her a summons. But by law, we have to ship her.
Okay.
Because if we say we let her go on that, she comes back and does something, we're at fault for that. We could get fired.
Okay.
So
I understand.
there's no gray area with domestic violence stuff. So I can see what I can do. I can't guarantee anything, but I'll definitely get your phone. Okay. Do you have her phone, her cell phone? She's gonna take it to county with her. Okay.
So what about her keys to her car?
I can try and get those. I mean,
Because how is he able to keep her keys?
it all depends. Like, if she lets him drive the car all the time, or they live together and they share the car, it's kind of for us to determine if he's allowed to have it or not. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Right, even though it's in her name,
Right.
he can still keep the keys because he drives it. Wow.
Do he even got a license?
I don't know. I can try and get the keys from him.
Yes,
What?
because I don't think that's fair. Because then what if he purposely do something to her car just because of this situation?
Well, then she could file an insurance claim and go from there. But like I was telling Mom, like with domestic violence, there's not a gray area with that.
Yeah, they don't play about that.
You know, just because you live with somebody and it creates a conflict. You know,
Yeah.
you can't just go back to that person after they beat the shit out of each other.
Right,
No.
exactly. Gotta stay away from each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like they're very good at doing.
Right.
Especially if she lets him drive the car all the
Just
time.
saying the wake up call did this shit. Because that's,
She knew she had a warrant. I don't know why you come back here.
yeah, that's what I told her. I said you should have pulled off.
The best bet would to have like a third party like you or grandma come and try and convince him to get the keys back.
Right.
I'm like, did you know you had a warrant? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you probably shouldn't
Called
come
her
back.
mom
She's
and
like,
told
yeah, I
her mom,
know.
and that's why mom told her to leave.
She knows. She literally said I shouldn't have came back here.
Yeah. So he can't even stay here with Cartier.
Because it's a family dispute, basically, is what he's saying. But he said he's trying to avoid that, so he's trying to see what they can do because she need to go with his grandma because he don't even got nowhere to stay.
So do he even know said about to go to CSB?
No.
So what we'll probably do, we'll call CSB and they'll let us, and they'll determine that. I mean, if Dad's on scene and he has them all the time, you know what I mean? I don't see why. But that's up to them. That's out of our hands.
1-6 go.
No diapers, no milk, no wipes, no nothing. Come here to fight. We bring nothing. We didn't bring nothing.
Sir.
No wipes, no milk, no nothing. My son doesn't have nothing.
Sir, come over. I just got to talk to you real quick. All right. You want to come over here so we can talk? All right. So here's the thing. You don't have custody of the kid, okay?
So she has to go, Mom.
So this is what we're gonna try. Do you have like a clean record or whatnot?
I don't have no felonies.
Okay.
Maybe those misdemeanor tickets.
Okay. Because what has to happen is that she is getting arrested for domestic violence, a family offense. We have to send the kid to CSB. But
What?
listen, just hear me out. If you have, if you're cool, cooperative, the CSB is going to come out here. They're probably going to talk to you. Since you're the dad, you could try to get emergency custody of the kid. That's a route that we can go. But that's what my sergeant said we had to do. I know it sucks, sir, but like I'm just trying to give you the benefits of if we do that, you could get emergency custody.
They gonna come today?
Yeah. So we call them. They're going to come out here.
That's crazy work. So I can't take my kid.
No.
All right, Mom.
I just wanted to inform you so you can try to get.
So what? Will y'all take care of y'all taking him?
Huh?
Y'all take care of y'all taking him?
So CSB is gonna come out here, and if they're gonna want to send the kid with a parent or a family member to give emergency custody to. And that's where I was trying to say, if you work with us and you work with CSB, you get custody of your kid, and there will be no problems about it. So, does that sound cool to you? I know it sucks, man, but it's she made a dumb mistake. And that's where we're at. And that's what we got to do.
Okay.
All
So we'll wait on them. And
Just coping. I raised 3 kids by myself. I'm 53 years old. You don't have to be in a relationship with somebody just to raise your kid if that's what y'all call yourself doing. Let it go.
They exchanged info.
freaking
Advise them they're not the car's free.
still,
If it
you
gets to
can
the
still
point you
hate
gotta
each
put
other
your-
and still co-parent at the same
When
time.
it comes to the point you gotta put your hands on somebody, it's time to walk away. That's these young generation, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, I'm in service.
Different.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Like I said, my oldest daughter is 32. And Kayla's my youngest. And my son is 30, about to be 31. Like,
People don't care about the cops.
hell no.
I can tell you that first.
You know what's working? I know I did a damn thing.
Damn,
I'm cutting everything off.
okay, listen. I pull up like, okay.
That's that young stuff.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, this young generation is something else.
So
I
different.
mean, if your daughter didn't have a warrant, we'd tell her to leave and that'd be it. But, you know, that's out of my hands.
We was trying, she was trying. I was telling her, shut up. You ain't gotta argue with people. Just let people talk.
I told her friends she just pulled off.
Yeah, about dog, you gonna be yelling out the window. They ain't gonna hear you because you're gonna be
If
down
would
the
have did
street.
any damage to the car, that would have been on him.
Yeah. Oh, he gonna be wait till he gonna get a ride to that car, and he gonna be out here enjoy the ride in that mother car. Guaranteed it.
What began as an argument ended with her arrest on a domestic violence charge. Why would you let a single burst of anger rewrite your entire custody situation? In front of cops, in front of your kids, and on camera? Because that's exactly what this footage captures. 2 parents locked in a screaming, chaotic standoff at grandma's house, with a child in the middle, a set of keys at the center of the fight, and a domestic violence warrant waiting like a trap the moment someone makes one more bad decision. But before we continue, remember to drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below where you're watching from. It starts like a lot of calls do. Noise, yelling, people talking over each other, kids standing around watching adults melt down. You hear a man trying to control the scene but failing fast. You hear a woman shouting from the car, furious, demanding her keys back. And you hear officers immediately doing what they always do on these calls. Separating voices, trying to figure out who's in control of the child, and trying to stop this from turning into another somebody got hurt report. But here's the problem. This isn't just a couple arguing. There's already history. There's already a prior incident. And there's already a warrant. Which means the second the officers confirm a domestic violence warrant exists, everything changes because there's no let's talk it out and everybody go home option anymore. That's why this call feels different from the start. The officers are listening for one thing above everything else. Who has the child, who has legal custody, and who is about to do something reckless with the kid in the middle. You hear the father, or at least the man claiming fatherhood, plant his feet and say it plainly, "I'm his dad." And you hear the mother's side trying to push back, "I want my mom to get him." And the officers don't argue morality, they argue procedure. They keep coming back to the same ugly truth. Without a court order in hand, they can't magically award custody in the driveway, especially not while one parent is being arrested on a domestic violence warrant. That's the quiet part most people learn too late. If you don't have paperwork, you don't have leverage, you have emotions, and emotions don't win custody battles. You lose your leverage the moment you explode. The scene escalates the way these always do, because everybody believes the cops are there to take their side. The mother's convinced the father is stealing her car keys and keeping her child from her. The father is convinced she's dangerous, out of control, and showing up just to fight. And the grandma is standing there with the exhausted energy of somebody who's seen this movie 100 times and knows it never ends well. The officers try to calm it down, but they also keep warning people about something most don't take seriously until it's too late: disorderly conduct. Because when you're screaming at each other in public, with kids right there, and you won't stop, the police have a simple tool they can use to shut it down, and that tool doesn't care who started it. It cares who keeps it going. Then the key moment hits. The officers start confirming the warrant. That's when you see how fast confidence turns into panic. The woman is told to step out. She argues. She dares them to take her. She tries to hold her ground, but the officer's tone changes into something colder. You've got a warrant from last night, and you can hear the frustration in the officer's voice, not because he loves arresting people, but because now he has no wiggle room. Domestic violence warrants aren't treated like a traffic ticket. They're treated like a risk. The officer even explains it out loud, the way cops explain it when they're trying to prevent the next complaint. If we let her go and she comes back and harms someone, we're on the hook. We could get fired. That is the entire reason the footage turns from argument into process. From here, the case becomes paperwork. And once it becomes paperwork, emotions don't matter. Now the mother's in the backseat of a cruiser, realizing she walked right into it. She admits she knew. She still came anyway. And that's the first decision that's going to get brought up later in court, because the second decision is what comes next. The child. The mother's begging to hand the child to her mom. The father's saying he's keeping the child. And the officers are stuck in the middle, trying to avoid the worst possible outcome. The state taking the kid because nobody can prove immediate legal custody, and the situation is volatile. That's where you hear them mention CSB, Child Services, not as a threat, as a consequence. And you can feel the cold dread settle in. The argument isn't just about keys anymore. It's about whether a child gets placed with a family member, or goes into the system even temporarily. This is the part people don't understand. When a domestic violence arrest happens, officers aren't just thinking about the adult being cuffed. They're thinking about the child's safety and where that child goes in the next hour. If there's chaos, yelling, threats, and no clear plan, CSB becomes the plan. The father is furious because he feels like he's being punished even though he's the dad. The mother is furious because she feels like she's being erased even though it's her kid. And the officers are trying to do a calculation in real time. Who is stable enough right now to leave with the child without this turning into a second incident in the next 10 minutes? That's why the conversation shifts to background. Do you have a clean record? Any felonies? Are you cooperative? Because whether you like it or not, that's what child welfare decision-making looks like at street level. Not who's right, who's safe, who's sober, who can pass a quick check, who can keep the kid alive and out of danger until court sorts it out. And then you get the third layer of this mess. The keys. The mother's car keys are still out there. She's getting arrested, and she's panicking about her vehicle being taken, damaged, or driven around. Her mom is begging the officer to get the keys back, and the officer gives the answer that makes everybody mad because it's true. If they share access and he drives the car and there's no clear theft in progress, it can be treated like a civil dispute. That means go to court. And that is the last thing anybody wants to hear while someone is in handcuffs. So now you have the perfect storm. A domestic violence warrant forcing an arrest, a custody dispute with no paperwork, a child caught between parents, and property disputes that the police can't legally solve on the spot. All of this is happening while kids watch adults scream. And you can hear the grandma, almost like a narrator inside the footage, saying what every older person says on calls like this. I raised kids. I did it without all this. Walk away if you hate each other that much. She's not trying to be poetic. She's describing the only strategy that works. Stop feeding the fire. Because here's what happens next, every single time. The arrest becomes a record. The record becomes a pattern. And the pattern becomes what the court uses to decide whether you're stable enough to share custody. Even if you love your kid. Even if you just wanted your keys. Even if you came back for one thing. The camera doesn't record your intentions, it records your behavior. And this footage is the kind of evidence that can get played in a courtroom later to answer one brutal question. When things get heated, do you escalate or de-escalate? That's why the officer's line near the end hits so hard. He basically tells her, point blank, you should not have come back here. Because now it's not about what you wanted, it's about what the law requires. And once the law requires it, your options disappear. By the time the scene winds down, the mother's being transported. The father's being told child services will decide the immediate placement. And the grandma's standing there, watching another family moment turn into another case number. One decision, one return trip, one argument in front of the wrong witnesses, and suddenly the question isn't who has the keys, it's who has custody when court sees this footage. And if you're wondering why these calls ruin families so fast, it's not because the police pick sides, it's because the paper trail starts the second you stop controlling yourself. The woman was arrested and charged with domestic violence. And the lesson is the same every time. When you turn a family dispute into a public incident, you don't just risk jail. You risk the ability to be trusted with your own child. Before the officers even get full names, you can tell what kind of morning this is. It's that everybody has a story and nobody is listening kind of call. The dad is pointing, explaining, trying to frame it as protection. She has a warrant. She came back to fight. She shouldn't even be here. The mom is framing it as survival. My son is inside. He has my keys. He won't give them back. And the moment the officers hear warrant, they stop letting the argument run the show. They start asking for identifying details. What's her name? What happened last night? Was there an assault? Was there a report? Because a warrant doesn't appear out of thin air. It appears after a judge signs it. And in domestic violence situations, those signatures come fast. What makes this footage brutal is that nobody is presenting as calm. You can hear officers warning both sides to stop screaming, not because they're being petty, but because the yelling is escalating the risk. One officer straight up threatens jail for the screaming alone, because in the moment, shut up becomes the difference between a warning and cuffs. And the dad's mother, grandma, keeps trying to pull it back to reality, but nobody wants reality. Reality sounds like this. Go to court. Get paperwork. Stop showing up at 3 or 4 in the morning. Stop dragging kids into adult chaos. The body cam audio catches little details that matter later. The mom says she has bruises and scratches. She talks about bans put on her. She claims her phone, keys, and property are being withheld. Those are allegations, not proof, but they're also breadcrumbs the court will follow. Because when officers arrive, they don't have the luxury of spending hours sorting truth from lies. They have to stop the bleeding first. That's why the officer pulls the mother out and places her facing away from the car. That's why the questions get sharper. Do you have anything on you? Do you have anything that can get you a felony if it goes into jail? Weapons, drugs, anything? Those questions aren't random. They're the start of the arrest record, another piece of paperwork that follows you into family court. And then the mom says something that tells you she's not in control emotionally. Put me in jail. She says it like a dare, but the law doesn't care if you dare it. Once the warrant is confirmed, the arrest is mandatory. That's why her mom, standing nearby, tries to negotiate with the officers like this is a customer service problem. Can we not leave until my mom gets here? Can she at least get her phone? What about the keys? The officer is polite, but firm. He explains why domestic violence warrants are treated differently than minor offenses. He explains why they can't cut brakes on it. He even spells out the fear behind it. If we let her go and she harms someone, we're liable. That's not a moral argument, that's a policy argument. And it's the reason the whole scene collapses into a decision tree. 1, mom goes to jail. 2, child has to be placed safely. 3, keys are a civil matter unless a crime is clear. 4, everybody else needs to separate before this becomes a second call. Now watch what happens with the kid. The mother begs for her mom to take him. The father refuses. The officers look trapped, because the kid is standing right there, watching adults argue about him like he's a suitcase. And this is where the footage becomes a slow-motion custody disaster. The officer says the quiet line people don't want to hear. Since mom is being arrested on domestic violence, we have to call child services. That's not the officer's opinion. That's the system's response when the primary caregiver is removed and the scene is unstable. The dad's reaction is immediate. Disbelief. How can you take my kid? I'm his dad. But the officer keeps it real. We need to verify, and child services makes placement decisions when there's no clear custody order and the scene is volatile. And then, in a weird twist, the officer tries to offer a path forward in the middle of the mess. If you cooperate, if your record is clean, CSB might place the child with you as an emergency custody situation. That's the harsh irony. The best legal advice in this whole clip comes from a cop in a driveway while everyone is still yelling. Cooperate. Be calm. Make it easy for the system to view you as stable, because stability is the currency of custody. Meanwhile, the keys are still a ticking time bomb. The mom's car is parked off-site. She worries he'll take it, damage it, or use it as leverage. Her mother asks the officer if the dad even has a license. The officer doesn't take the bait. He stays inside the lane. If they share access, it's complicated, and she'll have to handle it legally. That's the part that feels unfair. But it's also why you don't leave your life in shared access limbo with someone you're in conflict with. Because the moment police show up, they don't become your personal lawyer. They become a mirror. They reflect whatever legal structure you've built, or failed to build. And here, the structure is missing. No custody order, no clean separation, no clear property boundaries, just arguments and panic. By the end, the mother's being transported, still furious, still convinced she's being wronged. The father's still trying to justify why he should keep the child. And grandma is still standing there, watching the same cycle repeat, only now with the state involved. This is why moment of anger is the perfect phrase, because anger feels temporary, but the consequences aren't. The court will see the same thing the camera saw. People screaming, cussing, threatening, a child in the middle, a warrant confirmed, and a parent who knowingly returned anyway. And once that's in the record, you don't erase it with an apology. You live with it. You fight it in court. You explain it to your child. That's why this footage lands like a warning. When you make a scene, you don't just lose the moment. You can lose the storyline the court believes about you.